In this video, we have a harvest bar system, which allows you to harvest props with a decreasing vertical bar. If you enjoy this video, don't forget to like, subscribe, and share. Now, let's continue with the video. Hi there. So, in this video, we are going to do a harvest bar tutorial, harvest drop bar. And don't mind this name here, that was the previous name. So basically, this just works with an item granter and then a couple of textures. So we have a vertical bar that as you hit the target prop, the vertical bar fills, it fills up. And when it reaches the maximum value, it grants you the item that you defined. But also, of course, the fun part is the bar drops down if you don't hit it, right? So let me first show you how you set it up. So first you fill in your textures, the bar border in the background of the fill and the foreground of the fill. And then, you can adjust the screen positioning of this vertical bar. But we already positioned that in a pretty decent place, I think. So we have the item granter, which in this example will have 7 items, which the item granter matches those, as you can see. And then here is a bit more detailed part. First, you define your items. So I have 7 items. So what you need to do, just fill in the texture, the icon texture of the item, which we use to see this circular area here. We put that item icon in this area. So you put the item icon, and then you also fill in the which index is this item in the list of the item granter. So in my case, it's just the item definition order just follows the same order in the item granter list. So it's just 0, 1, 2 and increasing. Then the harvestable instances. So these are the actual props that will be interacting to get these items dropped. So you don't in here I have like 1 per item, but you can have as many as you want, right? So how you set it is, first you have your prop manipulator and the volume. Prop manipulator obviously just tracks if you do any damage to this prop here, and you can have, obviously there is no fields for the prop because it doesn't matter. You can put in anything in this prop manipulator volume as long as it's a prop, and it'll work. And then we have the volume, and volume is, so they're kind of overlap here. So we have the volume, and we also have the prop manipulator, which is what I did is I just childed it so that they're just at the same location, they overlap. What the volume does is when you enter the volume, it will display the bar, the harvest bar, and when you're out of the volume, it will disappear. Then we have 3 fields. The first one is the field ratio increase on hit. So this is between 0 and 1. So basically, this means how much of the vertical bar will be filled on each hit. So in this case, it's 0.5. So it's like 50% of the bar will be filled on each hit. And this is the drop ratio per second. Maybe drop is a wrong word here, but the decrease ratio of the vertical bar, basically. So in this one, it will decrease per 5% each second. And if you don't want to decrease, you can just set it to 0. But in my opinion, this just kind of works against the main idea of this system. And then the item index to give, and And when we actually look at the item granter settings, what I also done is make sure is keep all and grant the current item. Receiving player should be triggering player. Don't grant on cycle. And what I do is I don't actually equip and I don't give it at the player. What I do is, because to give that like harvesting feeling, I just drop the items at the player's location all the time, right? When it comes to prop manipulator, it's just it needs to affect all the objects in the zone. Make sure it modifies the prop health and the prop is invulnerable so that it doesn't die. Of course, maybe you want it to die, but sure, you can then set it to die, obviously. But I don't want it to do that. And just the the index of the item that you want to give. Again, since I have this is an example setup, I have just one harvestable instance per item, and they just follow along the same order. But you don't actually have to do that. Like this could be like 6, right? This could be anything, and you can have like multiple instances per item. And obviously, you can use any textures with this. We have a more farm Tycoon style of textures. So if you want to happen to use ours, then and also get the code file easily, you can check our Patreon in the description. So let's continue with the code. So here we have we don't have it exposed, but you can change it because it kind of needs adjustment, the sizes of these things. That's why we didn't make it more easier and made it on the device. But if you just really want to change these stuff, you can just come into the code file and change the size here. And also the other sizes should be somewhere here. I'm missing it right now, but okay, they are here, the icon size and the other 2 texture sizes. This is here because we are also using that definition inside, I believe, the fill update canvas function. So in this one, we're using it. So anyways, so about the harvestable item and the harvestable instance. So I'm not going to go over on that. What harvestable instance does, basically, apart from its data part, its functions just propagate the event calls down up to the main device, which is the harvest drop bar device. And we have the agent data. On the agent data, what we keep is the canvas, the current fill of whatever you're harvesting, and the reference to the harvestable instance, or whatever you are harvesting right now. Then we are keeping all those in a agent map. So when the game begins, we make sure we initialize all the harvestable instances, and then we spawn the async tick, which is a per frame tick to update the harvestable UI. So it just gets the delta time, calculates the delta time, looking at the difference between the frame times, and then for each player, it gets the canvas, and it will also get like, are you currently interacting with a harvestable instance? If not, this is not going to do anything. So it just decreases the current fill by the drop ratio per second multiplied with delta time. So this is going to be the the frame independent way of making sure this current fill is decreased properly. And then if it's equal or greater than 1, we are going to reset it, and then we are going to grant that item to the player. And then we are going to update the fill bar, right? Using the current fill, which is going to be clamped inside that function here. So it's this function, so we're clamping it, and then we're basically getting that texture block from the canvas, and then we don't change its X size, we're changing its Y size, and like multiplying the maximum Y size with the clamped ratio, which the maximum Y size is defined here. And when a harvestable is damaged, we just do, okay, we get the current like interacted harvestable instance, we increase the fill, and then we again like call the update harvest bar fill function to update the canvas. So when the harvestable entered, so this is when you enter the volume, what we do is if this player doesn't have their agent data initialized, we initialize that, and then we reset some data, we update the canvas state, and then we make the canvas visible. And when they exit, we just we again reset some stuff, and then we make the canvas invisible. And this function just so this is here when we enter the volume. This just from its name you can understand it's just very direct. It just updates the icon of the harvested loot. We already go over this one. So this one is just gets the textures, text from the texture references on the device, and then creates the canvas and then initializes the agent data for this agent. And this is given according to the given parameter value be visible. It's gonna add the canvas to the player UI or remove it. So the create canvas first, we have a sub canvas method, so to place the canvas easily on any place on the screen. So we are placing it, and the alignment here is important that the Y is 1.0, because if it's not 1.0, since we are like changing the vertical size of the bar, if this is like not 1.0, then it's going to like recalculate the widget's vertical size, and the widget would constantly move. Of course, you could actually fix that by setting this to false and then like giving a hard-coded size to the widget here. But again, I think this is a better way of doing it, because here we are making sure that the calculated widget size is also the same with the widget size that we want. Then it calls the actual canvas creation function, where we first put in the bar foreground, but actually this is not at the, this is actually the most the element that is at the most front. So this is going to have a z order of 2, and then we are going to have the filled background. This is going to be at the most back, and then the fill bar foreground is going to be in front of that, and then we have the icon, which is actually icon is at the most front. It is even on top of the harvest bar. And yeah, this is 4 canvas elements, and that's it. All right. Let me scroll up slowly so that you can easily see all of that. Yep, and then we come to the async function here. We come to the variables. We come to the other smaller classes. And then that's all, right? And then, yeah, let's continue with the testing. So I already have some stuff here. So, and let me actually show you the values that I've set. So in here, first one, so the second one is going to drop faster compared to the first one, and then the value will decrease faster. And then for the next ones, it's going to decrease slowly, but the fill ratio will also decrease. So at each step, I decrease the fill ratio. So at each hit, it's going to fill less and less. So now you can see I'm entering the volume, and you can see the bar, and I can hit, and as I fill it to the full, I get the item, right? And as you can see, it drops slowly. And now this one is going to drop much faster, right? As you can see, it drops much faster. It's all controllable by you. on the device. And these now, this is going to decrease a bit slowly. But now at each step, I'm gonna get even a smaller fill on each hit. And as you can see, and it's gonna fill even slower. And this is the slowest one. So you can see I mean, if this was decreasing a little bit faster, I would be able to, I would barely be able to harvest this. And all right, yeah, that's all of it. So thanks for watching. Don't forget to, like, subscribe, and share if you've enjoyed. And also leave a comment on what tutorial you would want to see next. All right, see you later.